Hello, I hope all is progressing well. Welcome to I Don't Know, We Can Talk About It, where we discuss myriads of topics civilly, reasonably, and responsibly. My name is Kevin Dufresne. Our first topic is about school safety. Rest in peace to any individual experiencing fatal situations from adverse school safety situations, and of course condolences to all that experience any form of tragedy in relation to these types of experiences. School safety operates on so many levels, and one incident is enough to ensure future progressions are preventative more so than reactive. Even more so, being able to secure an educational environment needs to be part of proper planning. When considering an educational environment, it is necessary to address circumstances of which an educational environment might have history of being in connection with. So, engaging with school safety requires tending to the different levels of safety, which does not immediately mean enforce schools with officers, though, as the article mentions, ensuring to have bulletproof equipment might be extremely helpful. Again, so as to be more so preventative than reactive. Consider even how online safety may be preventative, even with many false positives, false alarms, if one will. There are opportunities to observe what might be happening regarding what may connect to a physical environment, an educational environment. One may consider the reality of a bomb threat as a part of a discourse of individuals that may be a part of the educational environment, or of an individual in an area that is near particular educational environments, online, or in a publicly accessible forum, being a warning, being a way for individuals to navigate prevention. Safety costs. This is true, though there are many ways to address how an educational environment may engage with preventing an environmental safety situation. Creating forums, discussion for individuals to connect may prove extremely beneficial to alleviating costs of a school safety parameter that may involve online monitoring. If an educational environment, an educational entity may afford having not only environmental protections of the immediate grounds, though online parameters as well, then by all means ensuring to have the proper tools that are able to assess whether Snapchat details are coming in quickly enough so that a threat assessment may happen more so immediately to ensure prevention of what might be harmful. Being able to navigate school safety in myriad ways is preventative caring happening live. The capability of being able to assess what a threat may be, then being able to respond quicker than the threat may happen is a part of what school safety contributes to. Even more so, language monitoring of what may be at the locale is important as well as what may be happening in connection directly with an educational environment. Now, school safety is bigger than just a school safety center in one school, though a school safety center may be extremely potent and effective in assessing threats and preventing harm. A school safety center connects well with safety parameters extending beyond the school as well to create a community of safety. So individuals are working in preventative capacities to prevent harm, as well as to monitor what may be harmful. The idea is similar to when addressing how fire safety must be in a school. In an educational environment, there are protocols to address fire, to address even what may be a sign of fire. Similarly with what school safety necessitates and other parameters of safety. Now, this conversation may extend beyond simply weapons. Of course, individuals that are extremely aware about environmental situations might be quite familiar with the realities of what pesticides might be in one's area, what might be of one's water in one's area. Does an educational environment have proper filtering systems? Yes, all of this does pertain to environmental safety in connection with an educational environment, though it's just another level of preventative caring that may be possible with school safety parameters. Though one may argue school safety centers might need to only address particular areas, whereas maintenance might need to address particular areas so as to not overwhelm any particular entity. Though prevention of what may be harmful is at the core of the conversation. So when individuals of educational environments come together to discuss what may be preventative caring that may be possible, these different groups, these different entities may operate together to address what is necessary to address to prevent harm. Our next topic is about how immigrants, to be citizens, perhaps might experience protective care legally, though through protocols, procedures set to ensure no harm, at least potential prevention of harm, will not be a situation an individual coming from an immigrant type situation might have to experience. Considering the individuals are in school legally, these individuals need not have to experience any form of discrimination, even considering what may seem mandate-like, which, considering the realm of executive mandates, if one will, of course, these actions, not all of them, are what one is to simply just engage with. Individuals are quite aware of how to approach these parameters legally, so as not to put any binding, especially considering the educational environment, on what these structures might prove to be able to accomplish as well as prevent long term. Think beyond the current term as to how problematic legally any individual following a mandate that is contradictory legally may be, and they have to address. The importance of acknowledging what possibilities are through these individuals that have access to education brings to life what one might be familiar with hearing over and over again about what dreaming means in America. What being able to accomplish, being able to have access to opportunity might mean, not only for an individual operating through systems of America, though how America benefits at large because of individuals that strive, thrive because of the possibilities, because of the equanimity of which is accessible through efforts of individuals prior. I feel as though protective measures of individuals that are working to not only self-bolster, but bolster environments and societies, I think the access need not experience any disruption. There are many other areas of which to address regarding affordability, regarding cost, that may receive attention so as to ensure individuals do not pay unnecessarily beyond what is really necessary for efficient functionality in particular environments, especially considering an educational environment. Of course, one may argue the educational environments are not all of a standard of which is equal. An educational environment in one locale might be extremely different than an educational environment in another locale, and in one locale, the educational environment is full of extracurricular activities, full of wonderful efforts from working individuals in the educational environment, whereas in the other educational environment, the expenses are extremely high for what may not seem to even be extravagant. And looking at a history, a record of what the outcome is, the results of individuals through these schools, not to judge these individuals, though to address what occurs with these individuals beyond a certain amount of time is what is really important, because with education, more data is really necessary. The more data, the more robust the data, the better to assess what cost may be. Even considering how DIY measures might really make certain parameters of education more affordable, one may really address what community education will be in the future, more so than seek to blame education or blame any part that grows through education for what may be costly. I think being able to secure education, the physical environment, as well as the considerations of the tangible as well as intangible operating together, securing these parameters will prove greatly for what is possible, not only for what is of America, though what connects to the greater possibilities of meaning, practicality through possibilities which result from being of an accessible country seeking to assist individuals to thrive beyond self-bolstering, though as well as other bolstering. We're talking about an interdependent reality of thriving. Yes, individuals strive, though thriving is extremely possible and is a connecting result of effective striving. All right, let's do some origami. I have here one square origami. Now, we're going to be making an origami. So we have to now take this. We're going to just open it both ways, fold it point to point. You can fold it point to point again. If you follow the instructions in the link, which connects to this video, which connects to the origami instructions in the summary of the YouTube, you'll note that there is a shredding. The shredding will happen to bring this piece in half. I'm actually going to attempt to do this without that shredding portion. So we fold point to point. Now we're going to bring ourselves to fold. Then we have to bring this portion up. So we'll bring both sides up, and we'll bring both sides down. We're going to take this portion here, we're going to fold it in. This little corner. Then we're going to grip it. Next, we're going to open this up here. Now, if you just have one in half, then you'll just have the sheet. If you have both of them, then you'll have it like a double layer. What we're going to do next is we're going to create a fold here. So we're just going to meet them here. So we're going to take this band here, we're just going to meet it to the middle. Okay. Then we're going to keep that there. So that we have that band, we're going to keep that there. We're going to fold this over, and you're going to see, you're going to be able to fold it over and bring it back. We're not going to have that much extra slack on here. So what we can do here is create a little bit of extra slack. So I'm going to fold them both in. So now as you can see here, we have this extra in. Now we're going to actually use this and we're going to go over. Alright, so I'm going to go meet this point over here. You see I'm making these internal angles meet right here, and then I'm just going to bring it up. And after that, you don't want to fold all the way back. You just want to fold just over the center line where it meets in the middle. And that's really it. You just fold over again, bring it over to the other line, and then you're just going to make a cascading folding. Bring it over again. You don't want it to go too much back over, you just want it to align with the primary fold. Just gonna keep folding in here. Think of making a fan. If you ever make a paper fan, very similar idea of what's happening here. Okay, just fold it in, fold it back, and then for the last one, you can just, you might have some extra, you can just fold it in, and voila, like an accordion. All right, we're gonna now take ourselves way over again, and we're just gonna create the centerpiece here. So we're gonna meet in the middle. Got it. And we'll just fold it back. Boom. Now we have our points where we're just gonna keep folding over and folding back to it. Okay. Alright, just going over, and then we bring it back. And if you have some extra, then you have some extra, bring it in if you like, or you can just leave it as is. Okay, so now we have ourselves here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back here, and we're just gonna fold this portion up. Okay, the back portion, we're gonna fold it up. This is where it's gonna get a little tricky. Alright, so we have this fold in the back. Okay, now we're just gonna open, this wing here, okay? And from this is where you have to fold it really carefully. You're gonna follow the back portion, you're gonna fold over where it creases. So you see this portion right here? We're just gonna fold it up just like this. See that? And then we're gonna do the same thing here. See, there's a little fold. Same thing with the valley fold, meaning the fold that's going in. The fold that pops out is called the mountain fold. We're just gonna fold over it real nicely, give it a nice little arching curve. All right. Boom. Now we're not gonna do that for all of them. Okay. What we're gonna do next, after we do that, is we're gonna go to the back side. Now, for the back side, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Okay. Especially if this portion is not super long. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna actually fold out. We're gonna come here, we're gonna fold down, we're gonna fold down and up, okay? So when I say down and up, meaning we're gonna bring this portion up here, so like a lock. Then we're just gonna fold in the centerpiece. It's proper. There we go. See that? Then we fold in a centerpiece. It's probably a little bit easier if your paper is bigger. Maybe. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna come back up here now. Just a light fold here, a light fold, and then we're gonna bring the rest of this paper folding over. Okay. Now we're gonna do the same thing for the other side. Just gonna open this up, and then from the back portion, we're just gonna fold it over, right? Just get a little bit of a curve in here. It doesn't have to go all the way. You just want to give it the connective look of a leaf. Okay, then you bring that over, and we do the same thing over here. Just bringing it down. Boom. All right. Next, we're gonna just come back, turn it around, and we're gonna fold it. For this portion, the bottom portion, we're gonna fold it. Get out of here. We're just gonna fold it up. Okay. Not so good. We already kind of have the leaf here, so it's pretty interesting there. We have the leaf there. Fold it, and we'll just open this area. You don't need to be perfect about it. Just want to make sure we get this fold in. Okay, there we go. I'm just moving this middle piece over here. Voila. Then we're gonna just fold up here again, and then we'll move the rest over there. Voila. Okay, so now it's starting to open up. What you'll be able to do next is just gonna take this portion, this middle portion, fold the top, bending it in. See, I put my finger here to give it that nice curve, bending it in, and then you just bring it down to 90 degrees, and then you'll see here you have the 90 degrees. Alrighty, and then voila, you have your leaf, your origami leaf. And this little hook is pretty cool because then you can just kind of attach it if you have like a shirt you can have there, or you can just use it as like a little pin in your hair, and you can walk around with your leaf. Oh my goodness. All right, so I champion reading physical books. When an individual reads a physical book, there are so many benefits. The brain physically changes. Long-term health benefits from reading a physical book. This falls underneath the science of spatial development. So if you want to learn more, feel free to explore. The book today, Wuthering Heights. Whew. What a story. How the family grows is one instance to address, though how the romantic relationships evolve is extremely fascinating. What the emotional progressions are from beginning to end for each individual is quite different, though how each individual emotionally expands throughout the story and experiences physically emotions. We're not just looking at these conflicts of relationships. The assessing of what is psychological and emotional is very apparent within the bodily forms. What becomes so spiritual, what is an everlasting love, becomes so dynamic to character development and affects the story greatly. Considering how the status quo of the story might address the families, becomes a part of the conversation. How is the family against the status quo? And of course, how is the status quo even progressing? To consider what might be happening between these two estates that might be relevant to understand with what might be going on with society in progress, as well as to consider the reality that propriety is not necessarily standard. The story is gripping and really draws on spirituality to connect to psychic development, to address love, to address how one attends to one's wants, as well as to address what a home is, what does home mean, and behavioral parameters of home and behavioral parameters of the status quo, of propriety. How important individuality is, as well as how being able to access different freedoms, different areas of one's individuality is extremely important. I really enjoy reading the text. The text offers so much to consider in terms of what the text offers from these individuals from one period to another period, and I really appreciate reading the text, especially of more experience as a competent reader. Thank you for joining. I don't know. We can talk about it. Onward and Upward, Kevin Dufresne.